Pim Groen. In the past I studied chemistry, University of Leiden. After that I was getting involved in Philips research, where I did my PhD on ceramic superconductors. And that's typically a topic where IP is very important, generation of new know-how and what can technology bring for news. Also in Philips I worked on heating islands, a problem-solving thing. And after 5 years at Philips Research in Eindhoven, I moved to Germany, Aachen, where I started working on electronic ceramics, so electronic components for sensing and actuator principles. And in that work we worked quite close together with the business units of Philips, where we're really working on component-like stuff. So it's really components which are introduced or being used in electronic devices for sensing and actuator again. After my time at Philips in 2001, in the end, I moved on to an English company called Morgan Electroceramics, where I got deeper involved in the development of piezoelectric materials. Worked there for 7 years. After that time, we moved the company to the UK and I joined T&O, where I'm still working. I'm now working at T&O Holst Center, where I'm responsible for the large area coating program. And at Holst, we are creating generic technologies for making OLEDs in larger scale. In addition to my work at Holst, I'm full professor at the University of Delft, where I'm leading a group on smart materials. In that group, we are trying to create new sensors, flexible sensors for future applications. So let's go to the LTM project. The thing which I learned in the project is I'm a real hardcore material scientist by training. What I learned is really nice to work together with the designer people. But there's quite a big gap to bridge over there. The materials people typically think about the material as a functional thing, as a component which you can use in a certain application. The designers are really working in the end product and they take components off the shelf to make that product work. And the gap in between there is the gap we're trying to bridge. And also what we're trying to bridge is the expectations. The designers are typically working with technology, know-how, which is already a bit more mature than a typical material researcher is doing. Materials research starts from the bottom, physical principles, some chemistry, we add that together and we make a component out of that, something which is functional, an OLED, it can be a plastic piece of piezo. The designers like to have those functional building bricks already be very specified so they can simply pick them out of a box and integrate them. And I think what we learned in this project that we're going to meet in the middle. So in the middle where we are working with real demonstrators, where we sit on the table and discuss what are we going to do. And in that case we try to make the communication between the different parties better. And what we really learned in this, that takes time. And it's really good to work with tangible items on the table, really components where you think this is going to happen, end products where some components are needed to get the functions inside the end product. So that's the big learning curve for me. Then we come to the fact what we did learn over the project, because in this project the idea is that the designers are steering materials research. And I have 2 examples to show. The first one is a flexible piezo. We are working on flexible piezos for a number of years now. And in the project it became really clear that there's a strong need for a lead-free piezoelectric material. Currently these materials contain lead, and lead is not wanted because of environmental reasons.